Hi, I'm Mark W. Gray, and today I'm going to show you how to slate using one of these scene slates for video production. Now, this goes way back to movies shot on film for the last 70 or 80 years that there's been sound in movies. And it's important to learn this sort of thing if you're starting out in film because it's one of the first jobs you're going to get handed. Let's say you come to help out on a movie set. It's a small crew. They need someone to do the slate, and this is a perfect entry-level thing. But there's still a lot to learn about it, so I'm going to show you all the details of how to do it properly. Okay, first a little terminology. This is obviously called a slate, and this part of the slate is called the sticks. That's the part that bangs together. There's a little magnet in there that holds it together so they don't bounce apart after they've clapped together. You clap the sticks together to synchronize the sound like we talked about. And this is called the mouse. What is that? It's a slate pen. It's just a regular dry marker pen. Well, why is it called a mouse? Well, that's because typically on movie sets, you need an eraser for your slate, and they would give you a powder puff from the makeup department and tape it on the end of the marker. So that marker with the powder puff looks kind of like a mouse, and you pull it out of your pocket, and it's like you've got a mouse in your pocket. So that's called a mouse. If someone says, "Where's the mouse? I need a mouse," they're talking about the slate pen. A recent innovation is this eraser that you could get at any office supply store that's just for dry marker boards, anything you want to write on with a dry marker pen. But it's really incredibly useful for slating. Very important when you're slating is to not mislay the slate. Don't put it down and forget where you've put it. And certainly don't put it down somewhere different than you put the pen, because you lose that and you're out of business. A clever thing you could do is put a little Velcro on the back and wrap some Velcro around your pen, and it stays right there for whenever you need it. Okay, let's get down to actually slating. Once you've filled in the right information on the slate, the roll number, the scene number, and the take number, then you stand by and wait for them to ask for the slate. What usually happens is they'll roll sound first and then roll the camera, and if you've been very intelligent, you've paid attention to what the shot is. Either you can look at the monitor, you can see it on the back of the camera, or you've asked the camera operator how big the shot is. And when it's time for the slate, you want to put the slate into the frame so it's big enough to read the numbers. Like if I put it back here, this is a pretty wide angle shot here. If I put the slate way back here, it's very small in the frame, and that's going to be more difficult for the editor to see on their monitor. So you want to put the slate into frame nice and big. Often it's a good idea to put it next to the person's face or right in front of the person's face who is in the shot. Now you want to make eye contact with the camera operator. You want to make sure they can see what you're doing. You want to make sure no part of the slate is out of the frame. You put the slate in, they might go, oh, a little lower, a little higher, and they'll get it in just the right place. And then once they've said speed or marker or indicated how they want you to mark it, you read what's on the slate and you clap it together. Scene 23, take 1, marker. Just like that. It's important to say the scene number and the take number exactly as it is on the slate. That way, what the sound department hears and records matches what the camera is recording. So those two pieces of media, the sound and the picture, can be joined up with later. You don't have to read what role it is, or the name of the show, or the date, or anybody's name, or anything else. That's all you've got to read. The scene number and the take. Marker, and then get out of the way. All right, here's some more pro tips. Always bring the slate into the frame open. Don't bring it in closed. If the editor sees the closed slate, that means the clap has happened in the past, and they're going to wind back trying to find where the clap is, and they're going to take an extra moment to figure that out. Always bring the slate in open. When you mark it, close it, and then take it off. It's also important to make sure the slate is still when you're clapping it. You don't want to clap it in motion. 23, take 1, like that, because the clap is going to happen somewhere in the blur, and it's going to be hard for the editor to see it. Okay, so now you know why we slate and how you can do it too. The key is consistency, clarity, and communication. Always be sure you're communicating with the camera operator about whether they can see the slate or not, and communicating with the script supervisor about what number should be on the slate. This will help you out a lot your first time on the set when someone hands you this and asks you to do it. It's a very important job, and you're a key part of the camera crew. You can also learn a lot by being at the center of attention doing the slate in front of the camera. Hope you've had a good time. If you want to learn more, please watch my longer video on this same topic.